stage.
Hey YouTube, it's Project Air here with my final review of the Acrylic Geeetech i3 printer. This was a do-it-yourself printer, so basically I had to put this thing together from scratch. This video is going to be my review of the machine in a nutshell. There are a lot of things I kind of want to go over. A lot of it is the construction, the instruction, and the company that I got it from, customer service and whatnot. So anyways, let's get started. So what we have here is the Geeetech printer I got from Geeetech. If you remember from my past videos, right off the bat, I had issues where I was missing some guide rods, the threaded and the smooth guide rod. I was missing one of each. And it was due to a hole in the box on the bottom, and I guess they had slipped out. And I know this is not Geeetech's fault, because I actually found them in the driveway when after it was delivered. So those two rods had slipped out, but there's some other things I kind of want to go over with the printer. Geeetech was kind enough to send me some rods fairly quickly. Even though it wasn't their fault, and I did give them the information in case they wanted to file a claim to, get reimbursed for it or whatever, but they said that they weren't going to file any kind of claim. So so far, as for sales and everything, the customer service was really great. Now when it comes to the build, that's really a whole other issue. The instructions are pretty incomplete, I would say. I'm sure somebody eventually will take the instructions and go into more detail on some things. A lot of the problem was just things that were missing. One of my previous videos was showing that there was like the threaded rod here, or not the threaded, I think the smooth rod. One of the sections was missing where it didn't even talk about what rod goes where, and same with the little dividers back here. I don't think you can see them from here, but just little things like that. Another couple of issues I had were some of the screws, like for this little tensioning pulley here, weren't long enough to fit through, so I had to make do with my own. Luckily I had my own screws that were long enough, and I pushed it through and then took a Dremel and just kind of cut it here. But little things like that are an annoyance. The acrylic frame was real nice, although mine was kind of cracked through in one place. I think it was down towards, no, it was somewhere up top. I can't even remember now, but I super glued it, and it came together fine, so I didn't have to get a new one from the company. And I'm pretty sure that may have got banged around during shipping. Little things that to look for. If you look back here, you can kind of see it. They have these little slots when you put in your screws. In the acrylic, there's a little slot with a notch in there to put a nut. And let's see if I can see it. There you go. If you see in the middle here, you can see there's a little T shape cut in the acrylic. So when you put the screw through, you slide the nut in, and then it locks, like say this piece here, it'll lock it onto the main plate. A lot of the problems I ran into is the screws that it called for. A lot of the times weren't long enough to reach the nuts. So again, I would end up using longer screws, or if they were too long, I'd have to, use like a spacer or nut here. So little things like that are enough to kind of drive you mad when you're building this thing. Most of the information, there is a wiki page. I can try to, post, I'll try to leave some links in the description. There's an instruction manual that's like a PDF that they send you, and then there was a wiki page that I found out almost after I had the whole thing built. And there's more details on one than there are the other, and vice versa. So if you're going to build this thing, I would recommend using the PDF instructions and the wiki page, because there's more detailed information on the wiki page when it comes to little things like things that are not mentioned in the manual. Like for instance, there's quite a lot of pictures that a lot of the times when I was building it, all I had to go by was pictures, because there was no instruction or worded instruction at all. So I had to pretty much do it just from looking at the picture and zooming in, and it helps to have it on a PC or a tablet to where you can really zoom in and see what you're looking at. This screw here, this long screw, if you can see it here, nowhere in the description on any of the instructions that I had said anything about that screw, but I saw it in a picture and then realized that it was the adjustment to trigger the end stop here for the Z-axis. So little things like that will definitely kind of drive you mad when you're building it. But all in all, it's now that I've actually got it printing, I'm pretty happy with it. All the moving parts are 3D printed, and if you request them, they will send you the PDF. They will send you the print files for these if you want to print some replacements, to have on backup or whatever. Another thing I kind of like is their extruder design. I notice a lot of the i3 extruders have like a big 3D printed gear that moves and everything, but this one's actually pretty simple. It's just it looks like the aluminum cast here with a stepper motor here, and then you have your heat sink here and then a fan that blows inward. And this feeds this little bolt here, and then it goes down and straight into the extruder. The issue I had with it was mine didn't line up exactly straight, so I had a big problem once it fed through. I had a big problem trying to get it in the hole down here in the aluminum casting. So it's just two screws holding this fan on, so when I do need to re-spool it, I'll have to end up taking this off and then just feeding it manually, like a little screwdriver pushing it forward or something. But I mean, that's no big deal. I mean, you only have to do that when you're changing out spools. But it feeds pretty good. I am having a slight issue after I've started printing some stuff. I do have an issue right now I have in the tech support where the extruder extrudes when I extrude it manually using the software, but now when it goes to the print job, it's not extruding. But I'm sure that's something to do with the setting or something. I am new at 3D printing, so I have tons to learn when it comes to the software stuff. So I can't really give a fair review on the software, but the one that they send you, or the one they tell you to use, is the Repetier host, and it's actually a pretty good program. But anyways, there are a couple of things to note to make your life easier. Let's see if I can get back to it, or turn the printer around here. You can't really see it because I have everything kind of zip tied up, but if you look down here, there's a couple of places where you put in your positive and your negative wires. The thing about it is there's only really room for one big wire in those things, and a lot of times, especially in this case, there's several wires that have to go into those. And for this, I basically soldered the wires to one wire, and then that way I only had the one wire to go into the board. Anyways, you don't have to do it that way, but to me, that just made it easier. If you can cram them all in there, then great. Let me get this thing turned on. The heat bed takes a little while to heat up. I'm guessing it's just the way it's configured. The extruder heats up extremely fast, but just to kind of let you see some of the movement there. And I got the So I did get everything working. I did have an issue with some end stops. They were keeping the motors from moving, and I couldn't figure out why. But later what I did was look at the wiring configuration again, and the wiring in the diagram was red, and when it went to the board was also red, so it was red on red, so it was hard to see. So I realized I didn't have those plugged into the right plugs, and once I fixed it, everything worked great. Let me turn it off so it's not as noisy. But as for the prints, before making any kind of real adjustments, my first print, I was trying to print a keychain here. Let me move this forward, and I can use it as a little table here. But as you can see, it was a little keychain that was supposed to say Daniel on it, and it was real real rugged, but hey, I was excited because it actually produced something. I made a few adjustments, and then I tried again, and as you can see, it's quite a bit better quality, but it still was pretty rough, but not bad for first and second print, I would say. And that way you can kind of get a better look. But I knew my belts were loose and everything, so once I got my belts all tightened up, I started printing a creeper, like a Minecraft creeper for my son, and started printing this, and as you can see, it is worlds apart from the other things that it was produced. There were still some adjustments to be made after this, and you can see a few little gapped lines, but other than that, it was pretty solid, and you can see the infill there. But this was printed with PLA, and that was kind of the start of the eyes and mouth. But it was printing really well, and then all of a sudden my piece it moved on the bed, and of course once that happens, you're pretty much screwed for the print anyway. So anyways, I just took it off and just counted it as a lesson learned. Just I guess I didn't have my heat bed heated enough. If you want a real quality print, you have to have your heat bed hot enough to where your parts are not going to move on the heat bed. But yeah, I was real happy with that, and I look forward to printing lots of more stuff. Just I printed my wife a little dragon keychain, but she has it with her, so I can't really show it. But it turned out really nice, and I only have black filament. I kind of wish I'd gotten a different color because details seem to come out better and a little bit brighter colors. And but anyways, that's easy to get, and just grab it on eBay or whatever. But that's my my 2 cents about the Geeetech printer. As for a printer, I think it's pretty reasonable for the price and everything, but there is a lot of work involved to put it together. As for the company, the customer service is usually pretty good. If you have any questions or anything like that, they'll email you back and get with you, and I think some of them even have a Skype, and they'll offer to try to help you. As for the technical support, that's a whole other story. I found out that Geeetech does have a forum for people who want to, just do regular technical support, ask questions, anything like that. And so technical support. Geeetech does have a technical support forum for problem solving and whatnot. I do have a few issues with the technical support. At first I thought, right, great, Geeetech has a forum where people can get together and help each other with problems with their printers, putting it together or wiring or anything like that. And well, I mean, it's a great concept. Other people do it, but the way they do it is really counterproductive, in my opinion. Their reasoning is because of spam, to filter out spam, but there are other ways to do that through CAPTCHAs and whatever. But basically, if you want to post a problem or a reply or anything to any of these topics, it requires approval. So you post a question and you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and then somebody will come over and approve it, and then you wait again, and then you wait again, and then you get a reply. So the process for posting a question is pretty long, and then when you finally get the reply, you post an answer to their question, because they're going to ask a question, how is your stuff wired or whatever, and you post your reply, and it's pending approval, and then it's pending, and then somebody approves it, and then eventually somebody will answer your question. So this is the worst kind of communication that there is. I mean, it delays everything. It's counterproductive, and it just wastes people's time. I could go through here and answer a lot of people's questions. I see people on the forum that are having the same issues I'm having, and that I've fixed or I found a fix for, and I just don't even really want to go through the time to post anything because it requires approval. And then if they ask another question, they have to wait on approval, and then it's a nightmare. They really need to change it. I posted and waited for approval. Basically, they needed to change this whole thing, that it was counterproductive, and their reasoning is just spam bots. I don't know if that's what it is. I don't know if they're I don't know if it's damage control. If somebody is having like major problems with their purchase or something, then they can kind of control who gets to see that or not. It's kind of needed information, for product reviews and stuff like that. So anyways, that's my main gripe with the whole Geeetech experience, is the support forum. Now, granted, they do get on there and they will answer your questions and they will help. I'm not saying that they don't, but it's just the process is just kind of painstaking. It's just there's got to be a better way, and I don't know. I guess some support is better than no support, right? But my final review is basically for the printer itself. I would probably give it I want to say probably a 9 out of 10, 8.5, 9 out of 10, somewhere around that range, because it really is a for the money, a quality printer. Price wise, I give it a 9 out of 10. I'd give it a 10 if you didn't have to go through so much work to build it, but if you're going to buy one, know up front that you're going to be working on it for quite some time, unless you just don't have nothing to do. Customer service, because of the form, I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10. It's just they if they fix this form process, I would bring it up, but because of the whole approval system, that's kind of a downer for me. But anyways, it's basically an a Prusa i3. So there are a lot of websites and information online about this style of printer. I mean, it might not necessarily have the same exact parts or extruder or anything like that, but it's basically the same. All the Prusa i3s are the same printers. They use the same stepper motors. They use the same Arduino boards. It's just how they present it. It's just how they present the frame, how they present the pieces that move. But the rails and everything, the heat bed, everything like that's the same. But yeah, I'm really pleased with my purchase, and I've actually learned quite a bit putting this thing together. I was a little disturbed that there were a lot of extra pieces that were not ever mentioned in the instructions. But I've come to the conclusion that it's because they use it for different printers. They just kind of throw the parts in there, and different parts work for different models. So, yeah, I did get the model with the LCD screen. And although I haven't really used it too much, it is kind of helpful. It shows your temperatures of your heat bed and your extruder. I was kind of annoyed they left out the knob. Nowhere in my kit was a knob, so I had an old mixer board that I pulled the knob off, and it popped on there, so it works real good. The other thing that I was kind of annoyed about was the kit didn't come with a thermistor. It wasn't mentioned in the inventory at all. I did put in a ticket for it, and they said, well, it should have come with the kit, and I could order one from them, but it would take a very long time. I think it was some kind of Chinese holiday or something. So I ended up just spending $15 and getting one off eBay. But yeah, even though the instructions say that it's connected to the heat bed, there is no thermistor anywhere in this kit, unless they've added one recently. But I bought one and attached it to the bottom of the heat bed. So if you get this kit, chances are you're probably going to have to buy a thermistor. Anyways, I think that's about it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave some comments, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. Anyways, until next time, I'll see y'all later.